Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jim Feist NFL Handicapping Show here at Dom DeMarco's Pizzeria and Wine Bar. My name is Tommy Canale. I'm the host of the show. Sitting next to me is Jim Feist. We are located 9785 West Charleston Boulevard. Dom DeMarco's, where the wine flows and the good times roll. But before we get going, I introduce anybody today. I need everybody out here in the audience to help me with something. This young lady right here next to me just got married on Saturday. Let's give a big round of applause to Miranda Will, everybody. Congratulations. Miranda's been behind the scenes serving all of us for over a couple of years now, so I want to make sure we gave you plenty of congratulations. Congratulations. You are welcome. I didn't want to order any food. I just wanted to tell you that. That's all I wanted. All right, now on to our panel. So, Jim, how was your week?
I had a pretty decent week. I mean, it wasn't overwhelmingly great, but it was a profitable week. Learned a lot by watching the games. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the NFL. And I have a topic coming up.
So before you do that, let me introduce these two guys.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We got two returners with us that were here with us last year. First at the end of the table, radio sports talk show host on Sports X Radio Las Vegas, KT Ken Thomson. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Tommy. Always great to be here. Anytime I can get into Dom DeMarco's and know I'm getting a pizza to go, I'm a happy camper.
And in the middle, he's been a decent contributor since 2017 and invests in selecting sporting events with a bottom line profitability. Lou Finocchiaro. Finocchiaro, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me back this year. Two things. Obviously, the food here is unbelievable. But when I was here last year a couple times, I remember learning as much from those in attendance as I did from the distinguished guests on the table. So happy to be back and try and share some insight.
We are live on both Dom DeMarco's YouTube channel and ProLine TV. Text your questions or comments to me anytime during the show. And make sure to join Greg DePalma live tonight on ProLine Picks Wednesday as Greg surfs through each and every game on the pro and college football slate this weekend. Jim, the floor is yours. What do you have?
Well, I was looking at this. This is just a topic of conversation. Old vets are replacing the new kids. Taylor over Fields, Wentz, McCarthy, Mac Jones, Purdy. They're kind of the same age. Brissett, Murray, Flacco over both, the two guys that were in front of him obviously didn't do. One's hurt and the other didn't do very well. Dalton now is going to replace Young. Mariota over Daniels. I mean, this is a mess. This is totally a mess. Maybe Jackson Dart is the one upgrade from a kid to an older guy from Wilson. Lamar Jackson is questionable this week. We still don't know if he's going to play. Last I heard is he's not. But then before that, I was hearing a lot of yeses. So I don't know what to do. I mean,
is Daniels out this week for sure?
Well, I'd say 80% he is.
Okay.
It's a mess. It makes handicapping so much worse, harder to figure this out each and every week when you're going from a guy that's been in 4 or 5 games. You haven't seen another guy. Flacco comes over from Cleveland, and what does he do? Puts up 400 yards. It's crazy. This is a crazy sport right now.
My input is simply this, that the quarterback is a cerebral position, and give me Herbert, who's also athletic, but I'll take the pocket passer, as immobile as Peyton Manning type of processor as I can get, over the athletic Lamar Jackson. Give me the guy that can read a defense and understand it. And you see guys that are older that have been in, the perfect example is Darnold. Nobody seems to want to give him any credit. All he does is win lately because he had to get kicked around the league for years. And what did he do? Many people curl up when it gets tough and they want to go home. But a pro athlete wants to kick the door in. Somebody better watch out for Darnold and Seattle as well. I think the quarterback answer is give me a guy that can read a D.
I'm a USC fan, so I've been watching Sam Darnold for a long time. A lot of people think that because Pete Carroll was in Seattle and coached Geno Smith, that he was the reason Geno Smith is here, and I'm telling you that's not the truth. internally, the people that I know with the Raiders told me it was Tom Brady that was instrumental in bringing Geno Smith to Las Vegas. The Raiders were interested in Sam Darnold, and that includes Pete Carroll. So Tom Brady may be a great quarterback, may have 7 rings. At the end of the day, doesn't know what the hell he's doing as far as ownership, at least at this juncture. It's not only that particular move, there's several other moves that he has been instrumental in as far as the Raiders that have also failed. Don't have time to get into all of that, but I'm somebody that knows this Raider organization for the last 25 years very, very closely internally, and this team is a mess. You can't tell me in a million years how the hell a team gets 30 plays in 60 minutes. It's almost impossible to do. You could literally get the kickoff, kneel on the ball, and punt it back and come up with 30 plays. It's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in NFL football. I feel bad because people want to blame Mark Davis. They're like, oh, he's no Al Davis. I get that. He's not. But what did he do? He's trying to step away. He doesn't want to be a Jerry Jones. He wants to step away so he gets guys, including Brady, that he brought in as a minority owner, and is deferring to them. And everything this team seems to do has backfired. And I know Pete Carroll for a long time, being a USC guy, and what he did there was miraculous to resurrect that program and get national championships. But he's up against it now. You've got a Max Crosby. You've got a few players. The draft was a bust. If you listen to my show, SportsX Radio, I said there are 2 guys that I would want prior to that draft. Jackson Dart was one. Cam Scatterbo was another. Cam Scatterbo is a mini Mike Allstott. The guy is a stud. If you watched him at Arizona State and before that Sacramento State, and you know the type of pedigree this kid is, this is a guy when you're inside the 5-yard line that you don't have to line up in freaking shotgun and run the ball and hand off at the 4-yard line when you're at the 1. It's absolutely moronic the way these teams run their offenses nowadays. But you give me a Scatterbo and you give me another guy in the backfield and I got a Jackson Dart, I feel comfortable my team's going to score from the 2, 3, or 4-yard line as opposed to most of these teams. And you talked about Herbert. Herbert's the guy that lines up in shotgun when they're on the 1-yard line and throws 3 times in a row. So at the end of the day, Justin Herbert's a 500 quarterback in his career. I think he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks. Yes, he looks the part. Yes, he's tall. He can run. He can take off. Played a great game in Brazil. After that, I haven't really seen much from Herbert, and that's why the Chargers are very fortunate to be 4-3 because they should have lost to Miami, and this team to me is very overrated, and I'll be shocked if they make the playoffs.
Ken, doesn't that fall back on the offensive line? They have a lot of offensive line problems. I've always said that you can take the best quarterback in the world and put him behind these terrible offensive lines, and you make him look like a bum. I mean, we saw it on Monday or the other night when the Lions just tore apart the offensive line of Tampa Bay. And we know that Baker's better than what he showed in that game, but he had no time. And he also doesn't have any receivers that are healthy. So, I mean, it's a mess.
I agree with that. Alt is the guy. I mean, your left tackle. Your right tackle's been banged up as well. The other guy that got hurt, Slater, before the season, you got to adjust. Everybody's got to adjust. You got to go with what you have. And Harbaugh, who's supposed to be this great magician and can do anything, I've seen him, he, like I said, should have lost the Miami game. Since that team got off to a 3-0 start, this team has not really played good football. The defense has been an absolute joke. I mean, that game, if you watch the game against the Colts, that game should have been 64-24. The Colts went up and down the field like there was no defense. So that's not the offensive line, Jim.
No, it's not the offensive line. The defense is falling apart, and that's what Harbaugh is really good at, too. Good defensive coach. But it is falling apart. Well, the whole very upside down.
Yeah.
It's
Let's get into it. Lou, I want to go over to you. The power rankings for the NFL have the Lions at 1, the Colts at 2, and the Chiefs lurking at 3. Let's talk about quarterbacks. Let's talk about Jones from the Indianapolis Colts. Titans are coming into their town. That line is huge at 14 with an over-under of 47 with Indy favored by 14. But Lou, talk to me about Jones at quarterback in Indianapolis and what he's done this year.
Well, first of all, I think what we have is a situation, again, I'm going to reference Darnold, about a guy that publicly failed. And he could have curled up and gone home with his money, but no, he's going to go the journeyman route and find a way to get an opportunity. And now the right personality at quarterback finds the right personality at head coach. And for me, the questions revolving around the Colts this year really were more, how are they going to react to the ownership situation in the offseason? That we have the answer to that. They have a unbelievably solid offensive line, the best running back in the league, a quarterback that is a competitor, that wants to kick the door and improve people wrong. I don't see anything about the Colts that I don't like. I felt that for some weeks, and though the world was on the sexy Chargers last week, the Colts went in there and punched them right in the teeth, and they're not done yet.
So do you think, would you touch anything on this? I know
Yes, I would. After all of that, this is a division game, hatred, and if you go to the water cooler and tell people you're going to bet Tennessee, they'll laugh at you. You know you got yourself a winner. Give me Tennessee with the 14.
Jim, are you on this game?
I'm not going to be on Tennessee. Believe me.
No, it turns your stomach.
No,
You can't.
I haven't seen them play. I haven't seen them play good against anyone except teams that like to give away the game. Arizona's. I'm referring to. No, I don't trust Tennessee at all with my money.
Let me ask you this.
And by the way, the ratings of Detroit Lions being number one. I know Scott Pritchard out in the audience disagrees with that. He has a lot. He has a lot. But I actually believe they might be the number one team.
All right, let me ask you this. I want to stay with you here for a second. Two-time Super Bowl champion Brandon Graham is ending his retirement, signing with the Eagles. The Giants are coming into town. The Eagles are favored. It was 7. I saw earlier it's 7.5 with the total 43.5. Do you like Philly at home, or do you like either side on this game?
Well, 2 weeks ago, the Lions or the Giants beat them up pretty good.
Yes, they did.
So you have an immediate revenge spot for the Eagles, who happen to be the defending champs. And when they're a strange team. There's games when they just don't throw the ball to their great wide receivers, and they knock Hurts all the time and act like he's not really good, but he actually is very good. They are a good team. They've lost some players on the offensive line. They've lost some players on defense, but they got a big revenge spot here. I'm not betting the game because I won't lay those kind of points in a revenge spot, but beware, everybody.
KT, are the Giants better than we think?
The Giants are very good because of Dart and Scatterbo. They have changed the optimism there in Jersey. There's no question. When you get Thomas back, your tackle that's missed a ton of games, and the Giants were 3-17 without him. That's important. You got to have protection, like Jim talked about, offensive line. Got to have that blindside guy for sure. Had the Giants held on and won that game against Denver, I would be on the Giants because they'd have so much momentum and be sitting at 3-4 with a chance to go to 500 and sweep Philly, which would have been an extra game as far as the NFC East. But because the excruciating way they lost that game, gave that game away to Denver, I cannot take it, even though it's up over a touchdown. I'm not sold on Philly. They've been outgained all 7 games, but they're like the old Al Davis Raiders. Just win, baby. They find a way to get it done. So it's a game I'll watch, maybe get involved in as it's going. But right now, I'm not touching the game. Let
me ask you this, KT. We're going to go the other side of the ball on defense. In your opinion, does Seattle or Detroit have the better defense?
Oh, boy. Here's my thing on Detroit. And I know Scott doesn't have them as his topic. I don't have them. Like right now, if you said I can have any team to win the Super Bowl, yes, I'd love to have Detroit. I had them last year. They had their opportunity the year before with Riverboat Dan Campbell. As much as you love his analytics crap and sabermetrics, I get it. You kick the freaking field goal, you're in the Super Bowl. He didn't do it. He didn't do it last week when they were up 7-0 and a 4th and 4. Why not go up 10-0? You're at home. You've got all the momentum. You don't score. I'm watching that box score against Tampa Bay, all banged up Tampa Bay. Detroit, 240 total yards. Tampa, 50. 7-0 game. All right? When you let a team hang around that has a Baker Mayfield, you're pretty darn lucky that they didn't come back, that they were that banged up. Detroit, to me, when they protect Goff, is the best team in football. But that's the question. Somewhere along the line, they have proven they cannot protect Goff. Whether it's against Washington last year as the number 1 seed at home, I'm not sold on Detroit. But I think Kansas City right now is the team. If you gave me any team, I'm not a Chiefs fan, being a Raider guy, I would take Kansas City. They're getting healthy. They're ascending, and Mahomes is playing great ball right now. I'll take Kansas City over anybody in the league right now.
So, Jim, is Seattle or Detroit got the better defense?
I'd have to look at who they played, which I don't have in front of me. Both are very impressive.
Yeah,
I know Detroit's had some really tough games. I'd say right now it's pretty even. It'll have to come down to injuries because they both can play defense very well. Now, as far as going all the way, I'm going to go with Ken. I happen to, at this point in time, especially with Rice coming back, Andy Reid and company, right now I think are the best team in football. Second is going to be a big toss-up between some other teams. You can't leave out the Rams. They're very well coached. They got a great quarterback. There's a lot of good teams, especially in the NFC, that can really compete. The AFC is a little bit different. Right now, I think Kansas City's the best team. I'll go from there.
Lou, we talked about being banged up. Tampa's banged up. Evans now is going to miss the remainder of the season with that broken clavicle. They're going to New Orleans. Tampa's favored by 4.5. 47 is the total. Lou, do you like either side on this game?
Not really. It's a division game. I tend to be an old-time handicapper that likes the dog in division games. But this is not really a game that's on my radar. Tampa is dinged up, but it's next man up, and they should be getting the wide receiver other than Ibuka back for his second week. It's unfortunate that Evans went down like that. Division game, New Orleans 2-5 against the spread. I don't really have much on the game.
Jim?
Well, the Saints lost someone too, and I don't have the name, but they lost a key player in that game last week. They're
Miller, the running back.
Yeah, you got it. Okay. Boy, Tampa Bay coming off that game they had the other night, banged up. They're still banged up.
Still banged up.
They lose Evans.
And they didn't look good.
I don't think laying points on the road is a profitable situation right now. I love Baker. I love the Bucs, but this isn't a good spot. This second game in a row, short week. I mean, I just think it's a negative. If you put a gun to my head and I had a bet, I have to take the dog. Division home dog. I mean, it's not something over time you're going to win money with it, but I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm going to play it.
KT, I'm going to go with you because I know you're fired up about this team. Let's talk about Thursday with the Vikings going into LA to play the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3.5, and the total's 44.5. You said you're not taking anything with the Chargers anymore. Are you staying away from this game, or are you going to take Minnesota?
No, I can't trust Minnesota either. They got McCarthy sitting there. There's a reason he's sitting there. Jim and I were talking about this a little earlier. He's probably healthy enough to go, but the kid hasn't, played at this level. He's got to, again, you're trying to protect these high-priced rookies when they're coming in so they don't get a lot of action in the preseason. So by week 4 of the NFL season, you're starting to find something out. You get hurt in week 2, you're not finding a lot out about McCarthy. So you bring in an old journeyman like Wentz, and, you're hoping that he doesn't lose the game and that your defense is good enough to win the game. And the defense probably could have been good enough to win against Philly last week, except they didn't cover 2 guys. I mean, they did good against the run, and Barkley, we don't know his production running-wise this year compared to last year it's paling in comparison. So, I've seen the NFL real quick, and by the way, I think Seattle's defense, I didn't answer that question. I think Seattle's defense is playing as well as they can, and that's the reason Seattle has ascended to the top with San Francisco and the Rams in the West. As far as with Detroit, I think it's more their offense. Their defense is good, but I think their offense is what's carrying them.
Lou, on this Thursday game in the previous weeks, we've had a lot of people talking about teasing certain games. Was this a game you could possibly tease or no?
Yeah, and I did. And I took the Chargers to 4. I broke every rule in the book because I am a rule breaker, and I don't listen to anybody. When I can gain advantage going from giving 3 to +4, I'm going to take it over and out. And I do it all the time. I tease totals as well.
Chargers
And one last thing. Everybody's given Kansas City the accolades. I love it. They're a good team. And I see what you see. But what no one sees is what Denver did last year, and they've dumped them because they haven't done it yet this year. Look out for Denver, people. I'm just telling you right now, at the end of the day, when there's 18 weeks in and the dust clears, that team's going to be playing its best football with a young quarterback that will have gotten his confidence back from last year under a brilliant coach. And so I'm going to voice that Denver, even though it may not look it now, I'm telling you it's going to look it by the end of the year.
I agree with Denver getting better, but the inconsistency of Bo Nix is troubling.
How about last year? Was that just a mirage? But so it's all this year. He's had a tough start, and so you're willing to hesitate on him.
I'm definitely hesitating with my money on it. Yes, because they were very fortunate this past week.
They were unfortunate against Indy.
Is that a sophomore thing? I mean, we saw it with C.J. Stroud. We see it with Daniels. So Daniels may be out, Mariota may be in, but Jaden Daniels has looked nothing like the Jaden Daniels we saw last year.
When you get down to the end, let's say that they have to play Kansas City. I'm Sean Payton's a good coach, but you're talking about Bo Nix against Mahomes. I can't see it. I don't see that happening.
In the last 3 or 4 games, I think Denver's done pretty well against Kansas.
And because Denver beat the Giants, we don't talk about Sean Payton being an idiot and almost costing his team the game with a personal foul running on the field, right? I'm just saying, there's stuff like this because the team ends up winning a game, gets brushed under the rug, and it's got to be looked at. And there's a lot of things. I mean, college football included, NFL football. I'm a bigger college guy. I follow the NFL very, very closely, but I'm a bigger college guy. And to see a lot of the stuff that we just forget because the team ended up winning a game, you got to look at it. I mean, Sean Payton's a veteran coach. He's got 1 Super Bowl victory that he stole because Hank Baskett can't cover an onside kick. But other than that, he's good with quarterbacks. I get he's got a great rapport with Bo Nix. But as a veteran coach, it's been around. How do you end up being 30 yards onto the field, getting a 15-yard penalty at that juncture of the game, and probably should have cost his team the game?
I can't answer that question, but I do want to go back to the Minnesota Vikings and putting all their eggs in one basket called J.J. McCarthy. I think that was a critical mistake of not keeping Darnold and saying, hey, this kid, okay, missed a year because of an injury. Coming out of college, he has no experience. He has looked like crap when he played. He played 1 quarter against Chicago that he looked pretty damn good. And you say, oh, my God, he is good. And I think he will be really good. But he needs a lot of work, And now they're going to Wentz, who's not been good for a long time. And to say that Wentz is an upgrade over McCarthy is saying how big a mistake they made getting rid of Darnold.
Well, you know who needs a lot of work? The Dolphins.
They should be in another league along with the Raiders.
But they're going to Atlanta this week, and Atlanta's favored 7.5. I thought the line would be higher. The total's 44.5. Are you interested in taking and laying 7.5 with Atlanta at home against the Dolphins?
I don't lay that kind of number, but I would. There's no way I'd be on the Dolphins. Right now, you don't know what they're coming to the table with. I mean, the players are upset. Everybody's fighting with everybody. I mean, they probably should have fired the coach a long time ago. Before the season, they should have fired him. They got to get somebody to put it all back together. Right now, they're a mess. They're an absolute mess. I mean, they went to Cleveland and lost like that. So you lose to Cleveland, that's a red flag, guys.
Mm-hmm. Lou, are you interested in this game?
Well, I noticed that Atlanta is off that Sunday night game on the road in a loss coming home. And so that makes it difficult for me to lay that kind of wood on them. I'm surely not afraid of a tease down, however, because I think that Miami's ready to quit.
Yep.
KT, Chicago's going to Baltimore. The Ravens are favored 6.5. The total was 50.5. It's now down to 49.5. The Bears have won 4 straight for the first time since 2018. And the only team to score 20 points or more in every single game this year. Are you a fan of the Bears yet, or are you on this game? Where are you at?
I'm a fan of the Bears being good for. I think it's good for football. It's a great fan base. I think those that went to the Bears-Raiders game here saw what an incredible fan base they have, even though the team had not been playing their best ball, but they found a way to block that field goal where Daniel Carlson, if those don't follow the Raiders, he's 88% inside Allegiant Stadium. So faux pas, big-time Raiders not blocking the guy, but Chicago gets that win, and then they run with it, and they continue to play well. And Caleb Williams has been much maligned as far as people saying he's not going to make it. He was crying in college. He's playing too much of a college game at the pro. He's starting to understand. He's got a coach now that was a brilliant offensive coordinator for Detroit that understands that you have to work and you have to teach your quarterback that's used to getting away from just about every type of trouble at the college level and high school level, that you can't do that every play in the NFL, or you will not live to make it through the season and you will not have a long career. And I think Caleb Williams, you're starting to see the maturation. I think the Bears are ascending. I think the team's going to get better and better through free agency and drafts. I think they have the right guys in place. I'm not going to be on the Bears here because I don't know the quarterback situation with Baltimore. And even if Lamar plays, if that hamstring is truly as banged up as it could be, I would probably only look Chicago. It's at 7 now, so that's the only way I would look is Chicago, because Baltimore has been a dumpster fire. Thank God in the Survivor contest, I was on them the only game they won.
Lou, you got something on this game?
Yeah, I do not believe in Caleb Williams. I don't believe he'll be in the league very long, despite the fact they got the right coach in Chicago. Even if he were to work, it won't be this year. Their wins are smoke and mirrors. They're going to get boat raced by a team coming back off a bye, and Chicago simply ain't it. I believe in the coach, and I believe there's an opportunity there for them maybe come next year. I don't believe the young quarterback makes the cut with the coach, and let's not forget this. Chicago's in rare ownership form, with Woody Johnson and Jerry Jones as being the three ownership groups in the NFL that are completely institutionally incompetent. So don't look for those teams to win.
Did you take Baltimore then in this game, I take it?
I think Baltimore going to boat race them. Yeah, I'm all about them.
Are you worried about Lamar?
I'm worried just about the final score.
Okay, well, let's look at
For a team like Baltimore, though, that's lived on their defense since the Ray Lewis supposedly hand down the baton, this defense has been an absolute joke.
For a few years.
An absolute no. This year, this defense has been beyond a joke. It's not even competitive. This team's 1-5 for a reason, and it's not all Lamar Jackson in the offense.
You know what a great elixir for a terrible defense is?
What's
Chicago coming to town.
Yeah, I know, that's what Washington said.
That's a great elixir.
Isn't that what Washington said with the Hail Mary coming back to Washington? We're going to beat their ass. You didn't beat their ass. The Bears have won 4 in a row.
I didn't tout Washington last week. I'm touting Baltimore this week.
Last week, Washington played Dallas, so.
Last week don't matter.
I'm going to say something.
Go ahead, Jim. What do you got on this game?
Okay, Chicago is the only team in the NFL that's gone over their team total every game. Their scripted plays at the beginning of the game, which has to do with their offensive coordinator / head coach, has done a really good job, and Caleb's been able to play that out very well. It's after that he's not that good, but scripted plays early. I'm going to say Chicago early might be a good bet in the first half. Chicago team total over, which they've done every game so far this year. They're the only team in the league that's done that. It matters to me if Lamar plays or not. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. If I knew that, I'd probably say something. But both these guys are right with their own opinions on different situations. But there is something wrong on the defensive side for Baltimore. I don't know what the hell it is, but they're giving up a lot of points, and they are known in the past as a defensive team, but they're not a very good defensive team this year.
Jim, let me stay with you. With Buffalo going to Carolina, the Bills are favored by 7.5. Totals at 46. Is this a game, a trap game, where Buffalo could go into Carolina and just get beat?
Absolutely. And, initially I like this game initially as an under. But now that I see what's going on with the defense of Buffalo, and now Dalton's playing at quarterback, The Red Rifle still has some energy left. He still has some bullets in his gun. This guy, this is what's been happening. These older guys coming in with all the experience of years and years of playing, knowing how to read, and as Lou pointed out, between the ears, they have the knowledge and the experience, and that plays. Buffalo's defense is not all that good. Atlanta made them look pretty ugly. They did not look like a Super Bowl team when they played in Atlanta. This is another road game. It's a tough spot. I kind of like the Panthers here, and I feel it's an overbet.
Lou?
When I look at this game, I look at the strength of Carolina as their recently found rushing game, 7th by DVOA standards, and they're going to get to go up against not the 31st ranked rush defense in Buffalo, but the 32nd. And so clearly Carolina wants ball control, run, keep the passing game from Buffalo off the field. Why? Because the Buffalo passing game, ranked 10th, faces a 23rd ranked Carolina defense. There's your game. Can Carolina keep the ball away from Allen and company enough to control the game and keep it low scoring? I say there's a good chance that they do. There's hope in Carolina. And there should be a little bit of concern in Buffalo, despite the fact they're coming off a bye.
Well, I agree as far as Buffalo right now, but they're banged up. When you're missing Milano and Bernard, those are two linebackers you got to have. Daquan Jones, then Joshua Palmer on offense, and Dalton Kincaid, the Vegas kid. So you have Knox, still a decent tight end, but it's all about Josh Allen to me. James Cook and Josh Allen, that 1-2 combination, that's got to be brought back up to where you don't worry about Josh Allen getting hurt. If you play like that all season, you're going to be fortunate to make the playoffs. I don't think New England's not good enough to win that AFC East, because based on the schedule and already winning that Sunday nighter in Buffalo, New England, the way Drake May is playing, is good enough to win the AFC East. And I think Buffalo, on that week off, coming off the bye, I think McDermott has to get that into his players and say, hey, look, we're not just cruising through the AFC East like everybody thought. We'd be 3 games clear of everybody when it's all said and done. Now you're not. And so, to me, Josh Allen needs to play more with reckless abandon. It's like at the end of the day, guys get hurt, they get hurt. It's like you're paying them millions of dollars. What makes Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson effective is being a dual threat. You got to pick and choose your spots. You got to get down. They make the rules great for the quarterbacks in this league. What do you have to do? Get outside the freaking tackle box and throw the ball to the line of scrimmage. How hard is that? And they can't touch you in the head. I mean, they've made it so simplified for quarterbacks. So what do you need? You need great peripheral vision so you can see the blindside guy coming from behind. That's the only way that quarterbacks should get hurt in this league. Other than that, Josh Allen needs to play with reckless abandon if Buffalo is ever going to win a Super Bowl.
Lou, I want to go to you with this next game, because I think this is a game where we find out just how bad the Jets really, really are. As they're going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 6.5. The total is 44.5. I mean, is the Jets the worst team in football, Lou?
Well, by record, clearly.
Yeah,
they are.
clearly, but
And by observation, I have to say that they are. It appears head coach is over his skis. He's a defensive-minded coach with a defense that's basically inept. The only thing they do well, believe it or not, is stop the run, and he's a cornerback. So figure that one out. I have to say that I lean to Cincinnati in this game here. Fortunately for me, the man has to put a line on every game, and I don't have to bet every game.
Jim, are you staying away from this?
No.
No?
No. Cincinnati team total over. Game over. And smaller bet on Cincinnati laying the points. Jets are a mess.
I would tease Cincinnati. I think it's a lot to tease them down to a half point or whatever. The way the Jets are playing right now, you can't touch them without Garrett Wilson. They have no offense. I mean, I don't care if Justin Fields plays or Tyrod Taylor. Doesn't much matter to me.
KT, 49ers going into the Texans. Houston has a 1.5 point favorite, 41.5 total. Are you surprised by this line? That the Niners aren't favored on the road?
No, not so much, but I would like to. I'm kind of leery with San Francisco, and the only reason is because I think George Kittle's playing to try and get back into game shape. I don't think he's ready, or he would have gotten the ball. They would have looked for him. He's one of the most dynamic tight ends in the game. So for him to be out there in the last game and not really get the ball receiving-wise lets me realize that they're trying to, Shanahan's trying to bring him back slowly. McCaffrey's playing at a very high level, but if he continues to be the workhorse that he's been, he's going to get hurt. It's in his MO. It's in his track record. You cannot just rely on Christian McCaffrey. Mac Jones has done a nice job. Purdy, to me, the system, Shanahan, and I'm not sold on Houston. I mean, their offense is so blasé, so boring, and I get it. Nico Collins, these guys are out. So, Stroud's doing what he can, but their offense to me is so predictable, and it made Seattle's defense look even greater on Monday night.
Jim, in the same game, is Houston one of these teams this year in the NFL that nobody's giving enough credit to, but they're just good enough to knock off teams and continue to do that? Maybe never make the playoffs, but be the wild card team that knocks some teams out.
I don't think Houston is very good at all. I think their offensive line is poor. I think their quarterback is marginal at this point. Their defenses, they have very good, solid defense. Not great, maybe a B+, but a much better team. San Francisco is a much better team, even with Mac Jones. As a matter of fact, he might be playing better than Purdy. They have injuries also on defense, so you're probably looking at an underplay here. And I'm actually surprised that Houston's favored.
I was too.
I think San Francisco is the better team, and they should be the favorite. And I think they'll end up the favorite, but not by much. Maybe 1.5, maybe 2 by game time.
Lou?
This week, that line was 1.5, both teams. So when it was 1.5 Houston, given the 1.5, of course, we teased San Francisco up. And when San Francisco was the 1.5 for a short time, we teased the Houston up. I don't mind that. That's how I gamble. I'm looking for angles and advantage, and so now I'm in a position that I'm gonna get one of those sides in, hopefully both, and then I got to go to work.
Well, that's unfair because it's 14-point spread you got going.
I might need 16.
Tommy, really quick though, but San Francisco, you got to give it to Shanahan. We always think of him as an offensive guru, and what I like about his offense is he always has moving pieces. But when you lose a Nick Bosa and a Warner, and you step up and your defense is still finding answers, that's huge. And this kid Bethune could be the answer.
Lou, I want to go back to you with this next game with Cleveland going to New England. Patriots, last time I looked, were favored by 7. Total is 40.5. I mean, Cleveland, I think, is a mess. I think that's a team that's a mess as well. And I think New England is better than we thought they were going to be.
I agree with all of that. But Cleveland's defense, despite being a mess, is the number 1 against the run and number 14 against the pass, 3rd overall. I believe they have what it takes to try and impede the 12th ranked New England offense to an extent. The issue becomes when the 31st ranked offense for Cleveland faces the 24th ranked defense for New England. Vrabel at home, a New England coach, an ex-linebacker. I got to give the edge to New England here. Not a game I'm really willing to bet.
Jim?
What's the spread you're talking about here?
7.
There's got to be 7.5 out there as well.
I'm sure there is.
Okay. I'd have to take the dog. I mean, Cleveland's defense is good enough to hold down. Everybody's talking about Drake May, and I happen to think, as a second-year quarterback, he's probably the best of that group of the second-year quarterbacks. He looks really good. Big kid, strong kid, and he makes a lot of good decisions. I like Vrabel. I like it a lot. But this is a big number against a team that actually can play really good defense. And, they're a mess, but they're a mess on the offensive side of the ball, not on the defensive side of the ball. And we're not going to give them any credit for winning last week against Miami because that's a real mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take anything over. If I can get 7.5 or 8, I'm taking Cleveland. I'm probably going to look at the under as well because I don't see the Patriots taking them that seriously, where you're going to see a lot of points.
Yeah, I think New England got there. They were my game of the week last week because I respected Vrabel going back to Tennessee with 10 members of that coaching staff that were with him at Tennessee going back there to where they weren't going to take that game for granted. And so he went in there and they got off to a slow start. In fact, New England is, I think, ranked next to last as far as starting games. So they're a good team to go against in the first half, but they get their mojo and then they come on. And so I don't want to go against them just because I'm not sold on Dylan Gabriel being, to me, he's another McCarthy type. He's a very safe quarterback. The Dylan Gabriel we saw at Central Florida when he started his college career was absolutely explosive. But after he blew the knee out, even when he went to Oklahoma and then to Oregon, he still is not the same guy. So what is he doing at this level? He's taking care of the football and relying on the defense. And so, yes, that lets me feel like Cleveland may be able to hang out if it's more than a touchdown. New England, I would look to tease if I was going to play New England. But I agree with these guys as far as Cleveland's defense being there. But I just cannot trust Dylan Gabriel, because if New England's smart, they'll jump these routes because every one of them's 7 to 10 yards. You don't see Dylan Gabriel throwing the ball down the field. And now without Njoku, that takes a safety blanket tight end away as well. Again, Judkins did his job, and they're probably going to run more Wildcat with Judkins in certain running situations when it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3.
Jim, I want to go to you with this next game. Cowboys at the Broncos. Denver's favored by 3.5. The total's 50.5. I was surprised the line was 3.5. I thought it was going to be much higher. And the fact that it's not is telling me that the ones making the lines have a little bit better idea than we do. But with the line being 3.5, is Dallas being disrespected?
Well, look at Dallas. You got to look at them two ways. They got the best offense, and my Dallas guy he left. He's not here. I don't know where he went. The Dallas offense is the best in the league. I mean, they score at will. I mean, I guess maybe right up there with the Colts, and their defense is the worst. So when you look at this, I mean, they can't stop anybody, and nobody can stop them. Denver's in trouble if they play like they did last week against the Giants. You know, of course, you got to say, well, Dallas is capable of screwing up as well.
Right.
But even to me, every game, I've made the same bet in every game so far this year. 2 bets, actually. Dallas team total over, Dallas game over. And I've won most of them. And that's what I'm going to do in this game as well. And actually, I think if I can get a 4, and I haven't seen it, but I'll wait. Maybe Denver will get some money. I'll take a 4 if I can get Dallas +4.
Lou, did you tease this?
I teased it. I got Denver to the 3.5, and in some cases at 4. And straight, I like the over a good deal. Why? Because I like Denver in the game. I think at the end of the day, their defense is going to be able to do enough to impede Dallas, while Dallas will simply not be able to do anything against that defense.
KT, I want to go with you at Green Bay at Pittsburgh. Packers on the road, favored by 3. Totals 45.5. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Pittsburgh off the bye is always going to be tough. At home, going to be tougher. Green Bay, another one. They got the win last week, right? Take the field goal kicker off the field. Go for it. Get the first down. Go in, get the win. I get it. It worked. But if you missed it, you're freaking losing the game. Instead of an overtime game, you're losing the game. I don't understand the logic. And again, we overlook it because it's Green Bay and they won the game. I don't agree with that type of old. To me, I'm old school enough to where in this Game 7 of the World Series, if there's no outs in the bottom of the ninth and I get my leadoff man on first base, I'm butting the freaking guy to second base. These assholes don't do it. They want to. Everything's got to be. I'm a bigger riverboat gambler than you, and it cost Dan Campbell a chance to go to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and we'll continue to see this type of stuff happen. And Green Bay got away with it last week. I'll play Pittsburgh on Sunday night at home off a bye.
Jim, on this same game, I was surprised it wasn't closer to 1 with Pittsburgh coming off a bye and being at home.
I like Pittsburgh. I think it's a great spot. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers played 18 years with Green Bay.
You don't think he's waiting for this?
Oh, I think he's loving it. I think he's loving this. And I'm sorry, but Jordan Love is not somebody I can really depend on. I know they're good. I know the roster's good. The coach is good. Inconsistency from the quarterback, maybe the play calling a little bit here and there. I'm just not in love with Green Bay as everybody says this is the team that's going to the Super Bowl in the end. I don't believe that. I don't think they're close to that. I think this is a very tough spot for them, especially laying points in Pittsburgh. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I like them a lot.
Yeah,
Lou, you as well?
I was going to say real quick,
No.
Golden's a good receiver, good youngster, but without Christian Watson and guys like that, they just don't have enough specialty players at skill positions to give Love enough options. And go ahead, Lou. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Lou.
No, all good. Open discussion. But I will give a counterpoint. What doesn't fit? Green Bay's 9th ranked offense, Green Bay's 6th ranked defense, Pittsburgh's 10th ranked offense, and Pittsburgh's 20th ranked defense. Give me Green Bay.
With that, we'll move on to Monday night. The Commanders are going to be going to Kansas City. When I opened, I think it was at 10. Now it's up to 12.5. Total's 47. We talked about at the beginning of the show. It's probably clear Jaden Daniels is not going to play. Jim, are you going to lay 12.5 with Kansas City at home?
I can't remember the last time I laid double digits in the NFL. No.
Okay. Are you going to do anything with this game? You going to take a team total?
I'll be watching it, and I'll probably make some live bets, which probably most 60% of my bets are live anyway during weekend Sunday games. So I'll just watch it and see what's going on and make some adjustments.
Lou?
Yeah, I mean, is Jaden Daniels 7 points? The look-ahead line on this game was 5.5. Now it's 12.5. I mean, to me, we're getting into overreaction territory. And in the NFL, if you want to win money at it, go against overreaction. In fact, it's all these TV shows and the VSINs screaming about injuries 24/7, 365 that creates great opportunity for us gamblers because it fuels fire and creates overreaction. This number's getting too high, but do I have the fortitude to take Washington against Kansas City here? I think I do.
Do you with no skill position players? I mean, unless you're getting Deebo Samuel back?
I'm of the opinion that Kansas City's just looking to win a game, and I don't see them rolling over anyone.
I did lay the double digits last week against the Raiders with Kansas City because, again, not a Chiefs fan, but anybody that knows Patrick Mahomes, and I've been following him since Texas Tech, this guy, you could see his play. He's doing what he needs to do. And getting all the key components back that they're getting, you're not going to get to see. It looks like a lot of points. You could tease it under a touchdown. I'll be shocked if KC doesn't win this game by double digits. This Washington team, when Zach Ertz is your main guy to go to when you're in the red zone, and I don't care if it's Daniels or Mariota. I'm a Marcus Mariota guy. I loved him. I was mad when the Raiders got rid of him. He's an adequate backup. But you're going against Jones and those guys on the defensive line. Kansas City's ascending. KC wins this game by double digits.
Chris, you got a question? Then we'll get some more from the audience.
Yeah, I was along the lines of what Kenny was saying. Washington didn't have a rusher over 40 yards last week against Dallas. You're bringing in, so that without a running game, you're bringing in your reserve, your backup quarterback. And Mariota, while you love him, and I'm a Washington fan, but while you love Mariota, he's a little bit older now, and you're going against Kansas City that's on the come. I would think you ask if
it's easy.
You ask if Daniels is 7 points, and maybe that's overreaction. But with Washington and not really being able to do anything against anybody and losing to Chicago at home, you'd have to lay the points, unfortunately.
Yeah, and this conversation's only making me feel more compelled in my position.
The Daniels of last year that we saw when nobody knew the rookie and went into Detroit and won that play. That was totally different than the Daniels we've seen so far this year. And you saw it after they go up 8-7 in Dallas last week. I don't care if he got hurt or not. He was just nothing. That team to me, if I'm a Washington fan, I'm disgusted.
Even before he was hurt, he was throwing the ball high, and that wasn't like
Agreed, 100%.
Any other questions from the audience? Scott Pritchard.
2 quick comments. First of all, I love being on the show, but coming here weekly to be an audience member, this panel, thought-provoking, awesome content on a scale of 1 to 10. I give it a 12. 2 quick comments. I have to address the Detroit Lions again being perceived as the top team out of 32. Are you kidding me? I'm not even convinced that the best team in the division. Green Bay might have something to say about that. The fact is they handed their asses to them at 2 touchdowns. A lot of pressure on Green Bay Thanksgiving Day to defend home court, hold serve, and try to knock off a Packer team that can run, can pass, top 9 offense, top 9 defense. They're well-rounded. The other thing I want to address is I love what Luke said. I love what you say, my friend, talking about overreaction. Money to be made betting against that. Having said that, I could not disagree more respectfully with your assessment on the Denver Broncos. We're talking about a team that beat the Jets and the Giants by a combined 3 points. 3 points. the Jets, the Giants. Last year, don't talk to them with Kansas City and Denver. The last game of the year, Kansas City, because they kicked everyone's ass the entire season, they took the game off. They already solidified the #1 seed, so they put in their cheerleaders and your Broncos. Congrats, 38-0 in a must-win game. Not to take anything away from the cheerleaders of Kansas City, because I've seen them. And a couple do look like linebackers.
Any other questions or comments out there? All right, so before we go, next week on the show is going to be Scott Pritchard along with Scott Spreitzer are going to be here with us next week.
The two Scots.
The two Scots is right. We want to thank J. Lore for always donating wine. We have 3 bottles to give away. So after the outro, stay around. I will announce who the winners are going to be. You got something to say?
Yeah, I want to make a side bet with Scott. That's Scott Pritchard. I'll take the Lions to finish higher than Green Bay for $100.
Oh, wait a minute. That's been the ratings have been going in the league.
Well, wait a minute. I'm already down 1 game with them with a tiebreaker. Come on.
For $100.
$100.
500 and you're on.
You got it.
500 and we're on. We upped it from 1 to 5 and the bet's been taken.
Lions are favored, but I'll take the Packers
Okay.
to finish higher than the Lions in the division, $500 to make it all.
You got it.
We got the $500 bet.
We got it on video.
So my name is Tommy Canale. This is Jim Feist. Give it up for Ken Thomson and Lou Finocchiaro, everybody. Good luck on your bets, and we will see you next week right here at Don DeMarco's Pizzeria and Wine Bar.